Hey everybody, Maria and Jose here from the Concentrated Podcast. And today we're going to be giving you the review that you probably didn't ask for, guys. We're going to be talking about Record of Ragnarok, one of Netflix's original anime series. So if you haven't seen it, don't fret. We're going to give you 3 episodes talking about what's happened in this first season. We're going to focus on the episodes based on the battles. And just to give you a quick update or a quick synopsis of what this anime is about, basically the Council of All Gods, so regardless of affiliation, it's thousands of gods, meets every 1,000 years to decide the outcome of humanity. After 7 million years, they've decided that we're trash. There's a surprise, like we don't already know that. And so they're going to wipe us extinct. One of the Valkyries, Broomhilde, who's like the main Valkyrie, says like, no, humanity has some redeeming things. Give them a chance. And so they decide to do this tournament where 13 gods will fight 13 humans across history, and whoever gets to 7 first wins. So, the humans need to basically win 7 battles against gods, or humanity will be wiped out. Otherwise, it's Ragnarok. So that's the general premise, which on its face is a kind of interesting concept, right? But we'll kind of get into some of these matchups, and like I said, this first season only actually gets through 3 fights, which is why we're going to give you 3 episodes to talk about the 3 fights.
A whopping 3 fights.
Yeah, a whopping 3 fights. And so, I think we need to talk about a little bit about who's in this first fight, right? Because the first fight should be setting up the series.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure if it set it up. Jose, what do you think?
I don't know if this is the bangers that I would have chosen. So Zeus, who's the head of the gods, chooses Thor, and the Valkyrie, Broomhilde, who's basically in charge of leading the humans charge, chooses a very obscure to the Western world, probably Lu Bu, from first century Chinese like warlordom. Is the best way to say it. Think Han Dynasty type stuff. Really quickly on that, if you're not necessarily huge into anime and this kind of seems a little bit wonky to you, but you are big into comic books, think of like Celestials coming to Earth and like basically trying out human beings and telling the Eternals that they will be the ones to kind of watch over them and make sure that their experiment goes right. And at any moment, the Celestials, if they so choose, once the experiment's done, they could basically just put an end to it without any reason. But the Eternals are basically there to look over the Celestials' experiments. Kind of think of it like that. The Valkyries are the Eternals in this case. They're looking over the humans. In this case, Broomhilde feels a little bit of compassion for humans, and she wants to see them like be able to keep on going. And the humans are the humans, and the gods in this case would kind of be, think of it kind of like the Celestials. So if that helps on a comic book context. So keeping in the comic book context, so Thor is a redhead in this one, so good job there, because he is supposed to be a redhead, but he's also supposed to have a beard. The beard is also legendary as well. So if you're going to make Thor, he needs to be a redhead with a red beard, if you are sticking to Norse mythology. The other thing that, of course, that they did, probably in the manga, because they did it here in the anime, is they made Thor a very cool, calm-headed fighter. That is not what Thor is like at all. Apparently, he has a tremendous temper. Think roid rage, more so. And it is a temper that at most times he cannot control. So Taika Waititi, you need to revamp your Thor, because even though he's cute and funny now, he's also supposed to have tremendous anger problems that he cannot even control. So being able to put a lot of thought behind things and do that typical anime in your head speaking or keeping a cool, calm tone when you're talking to your enemy is not like Thor at all. He does actually not have the capability of doing that. He's a huge roid rage monster. And then the other thing about him that they got wrong is that he has a huge appetite. And so that they did nail in Marvel. He actually loves eating and he loves drinking. And so he should be a lot bigger. He is not a Svet god, according to. He should be big like Chris Hemsworth is big. being cut up like he went to your local CrossFit and did a bunch of like where you hang and then you put your feet up and all that. That's not Thor. Thor ain't doing any of that shit. I don't think Thor knows what cardio is. So that's Thor. So it was interesting the way that they drew him, and it was interesting the way that they portrayed him. I know that this is probably coming from the manga, but you missed on this one. Thor would not look like that. Thor would not look like Dio from JoJo's Bizarre
Right.
Adventure. He wouldn't look like that.
Exactly.
And so there's that. Then they chose Lu Bu, who is also a very interesting character. They based Lu Bu in this one off of a 14th century romantic historical telling upon it. And so this is 13 like centuries after Lu Bu lived that they made this like kind of romantic novel version of, it's called The Three Kingdoms, of basically the Han Dynasty. And so, of course, in a romantic novel or a romantic retelling of history, Lu Bu is going to sound really great. They make Robin Hood sound really great if you really think about it. Reality, Lu Bu, if you look into it, had a problem. He had a problem keeping it in his pants, ladies. And by that, I mean he would declare fidelity to a warlord and then betray that warlord once he got tired of that warlord shit. And then he would go join another warlord and then try to kill that warlord he just had fidelity with. He did this over 5 or 6 different times. He also was not undefeated. He actually lost quite a bit. He would choose the wrong side, and then his former warlord would crush him, and then he would have to like kind of go off into the north central desert of China or something like that, and then he would run into another warlord that needed a warlord. A lot of war during this time, and so he would get picked up, and then he would fight for that. Don't know how into the cause his army would have been, because Lu Bu loves switching up sides so much. Also, he also had a very big temper, so they at least got that right. He was a very roid ragey kind of guy as well. So they nailed that for him. But Thor should have also been roid raging as well. So that's the history of these two people. I was expecting a lot more of a roid rage, kind of like Green Hulk versus Red Hulk type thing. Didn't get any of that. Didn't get any of that.
Yeah, it was oof. So with that, you know, let's talk let's just get into it. But I think you've said this before, but others that we've talked to that watch anime and have watched this anime have all kind of had the same reaction, which it is trash. And it's not trash because the story isn't good.
The story was good.
Yeah, I've shout out to our boy John, who immediately was like, yeah, I'm still going to finish reading the manga because the manga is interesting. Yeah. I can't watch this shit. Yeah. And a lot of the reason is because the studio that they selected that Netflix worked with to do this, Graphinica, is one of the smallest anime studios in Japan.
Yeah.
Apparently they don't have the resources to do this well, and it's not done well. The fight sequence, again, 12 episodes, roughly about 4 episodes per fight, which if you're giving me a ton of action,
yeah,
I'll take it.
I can forgive you.
I can forgive you for that. Like if this fight is going on like oh gosh, I can't think of his name right now, but when they did on Dragon Ball Super, when they had like the World's Tournament or whatever. That give me a whole season of that, because every episode, like, Bamas were just getting fucked up. But that's not what we're getting here. It's a lot of still shots.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you're giving me still shots because they're thinking, that's one thing, although we don't need a lot of that. But we're even getting still shots when there's supposed to be action in the fight.
Yeah.
It doesn't flow well. The fights seem very, very clunky. And like even the presentation of the characters, like, I hate Mjolnir in this world.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's cumbersome. It doesn't look like a weapon that anybody would actually ever use. They almost made it seem a little futuristic. This is a god that's existed like a millennia. It's not going to look like some Gundam weapon, which is what it looks like.
It looks really Gundam-y. That's actually a fair point. Yeah, no, I agree with everything that you said. I think that somebody put it to me, and then I went back and I looked at it, and I agreed with them. It looks like a slide, like a Google Slides presentation for the fights. Like it looks like I could literally get a Google Slides presentation, put like Munir in one slide, and then hit the button, and then the next one will just be a hand on Munir, and that like it just looks like that.
Yeah,
It doesn't look, it doesn't flow. It's just a bunch of stills put together, and I'm like, all right, well, if I was watching like a silent movie and like Charlie Chaplin was getting ready to come out, I'd completely expect this type of animation, but that's not what's happening here. And so like the animation completely throws you off immediately.
yes.
I don't have a problem with disposition because I mean I don't have a problem with
Exposition.
exposition coming from a character, at least that the face is moving. So even in Dragon Ball, which is renowned for having exposition, like you can still at least hear like a and the face is at least moving. Something is happening on screen. To be able to put a screenshot of Thor or a screenshot of Lubu for like 10 seconds at a time up, and then it's just the exposition, like it's a voiceover. Like I'm not watching a TikTok, guys. I don't need you to put a voiceover over top of a photo. I'm trying to watch this because I want to be entertained with animation. Like you are an
Right.
animation house, you should be animating these fights. So with that to be said, like you would think that immediately. I like the concept, and of course, most of these concepts are coming from the manga. It's not coming from the anime house, right? And
Right.
so
All
I
of it.
like
All
I
of it's
like
coming
the
from manga.
concept that like if you look at it on surface, absolutely, Thor should completely wipe the goddamn floor with Lubu. But Broomhilda, knowing that, imbues his Lubu's lance, with Valkyries, and so the Valkyrie kind of changes
Mhm.
into it. So I like that thought process of it because I'm here thinking like this guy Lubu doesn't. I don't care who he is. He shouldn't
Wait,
stand a chance
you don't
against.
you don't think his razor sharp fucking shark fish teeth? Y'all, why did
Come
they do
in there
that to
looking like
him?
King Shark and stuff
Yeah,
like
why
that.
did
I
they
was
do
like,
that? Like, I don't think that Chinese warlords were sharpening their teeth. Like, it looks so stupid.
just waiting
But,
for I was just waiting for Clayface to come out and start acting and
uh,
stuff like that. So I was like, okay. But I mean, listen, of course it's supposed to be a little bit over the top. It's an anime, right? But I did appreciate the fact that obviously the manga thought of what can the Valkyries do to give him a chance. So I like that. In the fight though itself, like presentation aside, it goes typical anime battle, right? Where it doesn't look like the underdog should have a chance. The underdog has something up their sleeve, and then they start having a chance. The underdog starts beating the favorite, and then what do you find out? The favorite was
holding
holding
back.
back because that's what all anime is about. All anime is about two things: beating your friend's ass to make them better, and someone holding back on you. That is what anime is about. If you watch a battle anime, and someone is not holding back, and there is not a friend beating his friend's ass to make him better, then you are not watching an anime.
No, no,
Okay?
no. Those are the types of friendships that I want to start. I want to just
I
start
want
beating
to.
the shit out of my
I need to
friends
meet these
to help them be
friends.
better.
Be like, Jose, you need to be a better Muay Thai guy. So I'm going to beat your ass until you become the best Muay Thai fighter that's ever existed. No, thank you for that friendship. So anyway, so like you get into it, and of course it goes the typical anime battle way, which is Lubu starts getting the upper hand, and then what do you find out? Thor was holding back. Thor basically comes back. He had these gloves on that was supposed to be able to help him take care of Mjolnir, and then you find out, oh, he was holding back because those gloves. And then he keeps them on, so that in this way he can't go full strength on his opponent. But if he takes the gloves off, now Mjolnir can be imbued with power that makes it look like it basically starts morphing, and it becomes some type of Modoc looking goddamn
Yeah,
Mjolnir
it
and shit
literally
like
looks
that.
like one of the mutations from Akira. It's
Something
so
like that. Or it looks like,
awkward.
yeah, it looks like Krang from Ninja Turtles
It
basically
does.
started like busting out of a Gundam looking hammer or some shit like that. And listen, I'm not one for physics. That hammer doesn't look like that shit would really work. It looks really lopsided, but whatever. I'm not here to debate physics with you. But regardless, it starts looking like goddamn Krang from Ninja Turtles, and he was able to use it now because he took the gloves off. And so what do you know? He's able to find another level. And spoiler alerts, because if you're not going to read the manga, I'll just go ahead and spoil it for you because you're probably not going to want to watch the anime. Thor defeats Lu Bu in the end. And Lu Bu's horse comes out of somewhere and it gives him the extra little strength. But at the end of the day, it's like the little engine that could. It's not going to make it over this mountain. And all the humans are just like, oh, damn, I thought we had a chance. And it's like, you really probably shouldn't even be here. You should just already be extinct. Like, we are trash. We should probably take our card and go home. But with that being said, yeah, that's it. That's all I have for that. I mean,
yeah, it's not.
Yeah, if you want to listen, if you want to watch 2.5 episodes of slideshow presentations, you could definitely do that.
You should check it out. Yeah.
But I watched it for you so that this way I can tell you. Lu Bu never had a chance. Lu Bu is definitely not the fighter that I thought would get the first win. And so therefore he didn't. And it just basically follows the same trope, which when it follows the same trope, obviously I'm not watching this anime because I'm anticipating like groundbreaking storytelling. I'm anticipating it's going to follow the same tropes as animes before it. So what am I watching it for? I'm watching for the anime style. It's the reason why Demon Slayer, a lot of people like it because it is a beautiful anime to watch.
It's fucking gorgeous, y'all. And we'll be doing quite a few episodes or videos about Demon Slayer, because this is trash. Like, we're going to give you 3 because we've committed to, we watched the season. We committed to talking about each of these fights, but like, we're definitely going to be talking about better anime in the very near future.
Yeah.
The last thing. Oh, go ahead, Jose.
No, I was just going to basically say that hopefully maybe what they announced is I still think it did well enough that Netflix will bring it back for a season 2. I'm hoping
they need a different studio.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. They're either going to need to do one or two things. They're going to be like, look, this isn't Marvel handing over the mutants to 20th Century Fox. We're going to need you to step this up. And so you're going to either need to go hire more animators, or we're going to get a new animation house for the second season. Because the story is good and like the manga is well read. So there are people out there clamoring to watch it. I just think that they were let down. But I mean, newsflash, at 38 years old, there's been plenty of things that have been thrashed for me. So why not you guys too?
All right. Well, with that, guys, that's our take on the first battle. Mm-hmm. We'll be back in the next couple of weeks with battles 2 and 3. So stay tuned for that.
And so what I was also going to say was we actually are going to also do a review of a great anime that Netflix has picked up, Way of the House Husband.
Great is a stretch. I love it. We'll listen. To TBD, guys. We'll tell you guys how we feel about that one. But I think on this one, we can both say that in a thumbs up, thumbs down scenario, we're giving Record of Ragnarok definitely. I know I'm giving it a thumbs down. Jose?
I'm giving it a wait and see. And that's only because I feel like once we do the second fight, I feel like the story can save. I'm not telling you that they need to have the best animation ever. Like, I'm not saying go Demon Slayer here on this one, but if you just give me like a little bit more animation in the fight scenes, because the story is good. Like this Adam Zeus one that we're going to talk about in the next episode, that is a solid story. The background for Adam is amazing. And so like you can tell that the story is there. So I'm going to give it a thumbs partially down with hopes that because the story is pretty good, it can get better.
All right. Well, guys, that's it. Let us know what you thought about the first fight. Make sure that you drop some comments below and tell us if you think we're right about this or if we're dead ass wrong. And we will be back next time with our next video. Bye, guys.
Please.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you can continue to get great content from the Concentrated Podcast. Also, follow us on all of our social media. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at @ConcentratedPod.